Good afternoon, folks. This is Big Bo with RVs with Big Bo in Parkway RV Center. I got another incredible value for under $50,000 in a pre-owned diesel pusher Class A motorhome. This is a nice one that we just brought in Saturday night. It is a 2003 Holiday Rambler Endeavor 34 PBD. So it's a shorter one. It's just under 35 feet long total length. It is a very rare, very hard to find handicap conversion motorhome. And for those of you who are looking for a handicap converted motorhome, guys, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. And the problem is, when you do find one, if it's not already sold, like most of them are, whoever's got it for sale marks it up an additional $20,000 to $30,000 just because it has a lift and a little bit of modifications on the inside. Well, guys, I don't do that here. I've got relatives that are RVers that are handicapped that buy, and they've been through all that too, where, you know, they can see that they can find the exact same motorhome without the conversion for 30 grand less than one with the conversion. We're not like that, guys. I'm selling this for the same price it would sell for if it had the equipment or if it didn't have the equipment. So this is a 34 PBD Monaco, or built by Monaco, Holiday Rambler. So it's a great quality 9-layer metal, peak metal roof. It's got the 5-layer sidewalls, aluminum frame, steel in the cab, and you know, the build quality back then of these Holiday Ramblers and Monacos are 2 to 1 better than what the newer ones are built when they went bankrupt and got bought out and rebuilt by Rev Group, which are still decent coaches, but nowhere near the quality of these older ones. They don't build them like they used to, guys. Now, it does have a couple of condition issues, being a 2003 that's normal for this year model coach and this age. It's 19 years old after all. First thing you might notice is on the very front, it's got that diamond shield protectant coating that was put on when it was brand new. And it looks great for several years when they have this stuff put on. It's actually a pretty expensive option. But as it gets older, it starts to crack. And this stuff, you have to have it removed by a body shop, or if you're pretty handy, you don't mind doing a lot of labor, you can take this off yourself, but expect to spend a few days doing it. Normal cost is about $2,000 at a body shop to have that done. Normally, I would have that done and mark the price up $2,000. But here's the problem, guys. All the body shops in the Chattanooga, Tennessee area are having a labor shortage, just like we are, and they're not doing any big RVs, period. Including body shops I've used for 20 years don't want to touch it because they just don't have, it's so labor intensive. They can do 2 or 3 cars in the time it takes to scrape this stuff off the front of this RV. So right now, guys, I'm selling it with this on the front for $49.9, and if you want to leave it with me, I can get it in about 5 to 6 months. The one body shop around here that's still willing to do RVs is so backed up that it's going to be after the first of the year before they could even think about touching it. So well after the first of the year. So if you want to leave it with me after you buy it, that's up to you. Or you can probably find a body shop close to where you live that doesn't have the same problems we do down here, and they can get to it pretty quick for about the same price. So, or do it like the previous owner's done, drove it like this for years. He said this was on it 7 or 8 years ago when he bought it. Didn't bother him at all. So the rest of it looks beautiful, guys. It's a multi-stage full body paint. Of course, like I said, it's got that 9-layer metal peaked roof. This is just incredible build quality. Tires look great. It came out of Middle Georgia, bought new in North Carolina. So this has been a Southern motorhome his whole life. No rust. Does have the second entry door for the wheelchair lift. This has a very simple chain style lift that works great, and it's a manual door. And the only thing is this little decorative cover right here, it pops off real easy. It's been broken, so it may pop off while we're doing this, but it's just a decorative thing anyway to cover up the gear. So it comes down just like it's supposed to, lowers down, and you hook the wheelchair up, you bring it up and bring it in. Works great. And like I said, it's a very simple lift. And for those of you who like this motorhome but do not need this lift, guys, here's the thing. I talked to a buddy of mine at North Georgia Mobility, and here's the problem. Right now, new lifts are like everything else, extremely on back order. And let me get that cover here. And because of that, you know, all these conversion companies are buying used lifts, and they'll take it out for free. And many, actually most of them, will also pay you for that lift. I don't know what they'll pay you or what it's worth, but it's certainly worth something. So if you didn't need this, you could have that taken out for free and then get a little money in your pocket. So, but now if you need it, you know how valuable it is to find an RV under a diesel pusher under 50 grand that is already set up with a handicap conversion, because the inside's been modified too, and I'll show you that when we go inside. Not too bad, but just a little bit. But this is something you can use, handicap or not handicapped. It's something you can use. There's a couple little spots here in the rear corner, which, you know, this is a 19-year-old motorhome. That's nothing out of the ordinary. Does have the 8.3 ISC turbo diesel motor, the Cummins, with 330 horsepower, 960 pound-feet of torque. We'll get up and go. It does have a 10,000 pound rated hitch on the back. It does have a 10-gallon DSI water heater, 7,500 Onan diesel generator running right now. Both slide outs have awning toppers in great shape. This thing's got a stack of service records going back several years. So it's been a well-maintained RV, guys. And I would say it's probably been stored inside a lot based on the condition of the paint and the finish on the outside, because a motorhome stored outside for 19 years doesn't look like this, guys. It doesn't look nowhere near this good. Windshields look great. Got the velvet chrome mirrors that look great. Generators running great, powering everything inside. Let's go inside. I'll show you some of the modifications, and I'll show you a neat little motorhome, and I like the size of it too. It's not too big. You know, most diesel motorhomes are 38, 40, 42, 45 feet long. This thing's under 35 feet. The carpet has been changed in its history. Mileage is 103,000 miles, which, guys, if you know diesels, that's not even a concern. If you're familiar with diesels, especially this big commercial grade 8.3 liter Cummins, you know that's not even a concern at all. 6-speed Allison, and seats actually look very nice. Both these front seats swivel for party seating. They're both power. It does have hand controls for driving and brakes, for throttle and brakes, but it's set up where you can also drive it just as easily without with your feet, just traditional driving. So you can do either or. You can take these out if you want to. Air brakes, backup camera works great. Got the vent fans up front to defrost your windshield to help circulate air when you're driving. 2 ice cold ducted roof airs, guys. That air's, when I checked it earlier, it was blowing out in the 30s. Of course, I know it's not as hot right now, but still, it's got some great airflow. Of course, you know, guys, like all of our used RVs, we do guarantee the major systems to work, the slide outs. We guarantee it to run and drive like it's supposed to. We guarantee it to the generator to run, which obviously it does, and we guarantee the refrigerator and air conditioners to work, and they do. So, and I'll show you that with my thermometer here in a minute. Both are flex steel front chairs. It does have a sleeper sofa right here. You know, you do lose a barrel chair and a small table that would normally go right here in a 34 PBD. It was taken out, but you know, if you don't need this lift and you don't need the handicap conversion, you can always buy something else to put here if you want to, if you take that lift out. You've got a table and chairs. It looks great. Ceramic tile looks great. It does have a soft riding chassis. This does have the Roadmaster RR8R, so it's not the recall, the one with the trailing arm recall. So it's got a great ride and drive, 8 outward bound air shocks and air suspension, as well as air brakes, and no cracks on the ceramic tile that I can tell. No cracks on the Corian countertops. It does have a microwave convection oven. Of course, it is a Monaco, guys, so you've got some little bit of embellishment like around the facade, around the slide out. It does have the padded headliner, none of it drooping down. All the books and manuals and a ton of service records in there that I'm gonna leave with it. Bevel glass, looks good. Solid hardwood cabinetry. 4-door refrigerator. Now, we haven't cleaned this thing yet, guys, so I am going to get my cleaning crew in here to clean it for you. So, but it's not bad for a 19-year-old RV. And you can see, guys, 34 degrees in the fridge. Freezer, negative 23. This is the bathroom that's been mildly converted. Stand-up shower. Got the chair in there. Skylight looks good. Got the hand sprayer. Got a elongated toilet. Got the modified sink, medicine cabinet. Got plenty of space. I guess they widened that a little bit for a wheelchair. Air conditioner. I mean, I don't know how cold you want your air to get, but that's pretty darn cold. Queen Island bed. TV over there in the corner. Does have a washer and dryer combination. It's a lot of motorhome for under 50 grand, guys. And it's clean, no smoke, no pet odors. Closet. I don't know if these doors are original, but I mean, they work. You can tell we didn't put the carpet in because my carpet guys would have. That's the original carpet. This is the newer. They would have went back with that and done the carpet in the closet too. But they still did a good job. Besides that, lots of space over here. Rear air working nice and cold. Guys, this thing will probably be sold by the end of the day. I mean, this is definitely a heck of an RV for under 50 grand. It's a diesel generator, Roadmaster chassis. Which you can say what you want, guys, but the Roadmaster is definitely it's probably the best riding chassis in a diesel motorhome, period. And they were exclusively for Monaco products. So you'd have to get a Holiday Rambler, a Monaco, a Safari, a Beaver, something, one of those high-end coaches to get that Roadmaster chassis. Great turning radius, you know, which a 34-footer is going to turn very well anyway. Dash looks good, no pick marks from animals. Got the power shades. I mean, this thing's nice, guys. Come out and look at it for yourself. Come and test drive it. You won't be disappointed. My guys ranted and raved how well this thing drove coming up from Middle Georgia, which we only drove it a couple hours, but still. Come see it for yourself. And like I said, I don't have to say it. I mean, if you've been looking for a handicap converted motorhome, you know what kind of deal this is. You're already on the phone calling, wanting to buy it. And that is a haggle-free, firm price. Firm. A year from now, I'll be wishing I could buy this thing back for what I'm selling it for. The way everything's going, because prices are not going down, guys. Wholesale or retail. What I pay for them or what I sell them for. And I wish they would, guys. I really do. But apparently this is probably going to be the next new norm for the next several years until they get the new RVs stabilized, where people can go in and start buying new RVs that are in stock without waiting for a year or two. Used RVs are going to be in just so much more demand until the new RV manufacturers get their act together and get everything where they can build and stock dealers lots anymore. Because what happens is when somebody doesn't want to wait a year or two for a new one because they can't get it in stock anywhere, they go buy used. And you know, there's not a used RV factory. There's only so many number of used RVs for sale at any time and point in the United States, and you can't order more. I mean, that's just I wish it was that easy, but you can't. And so guys, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And this, even though considering, guys, this is still a good price. This is almost a pre-COVID price, almost. the good old BC days before COVID. Gotta love it. But honestly, guys, this thing at a dealer auction to bring 50, 55 grand, and I wouldn't have to guarantee nothing. I'd just drive it down there. Of course, I'd have to pay a little bit of a seller's premium, but then again, guys, I could do that with every RV on my lot. I'm selling these things for less than auction prices to the general public and still guarantee the major systems. But even though, guys, it's crazy, but you know, and we kick this around all the time, but you know, if we do sell everything here, then what am I going to do with all my employees and this millions of dollars worth of commercial property that'll be sitting here empty? So we're going to continue to sell these for these prices as long as we can. But you know, guys, if I get forced to go back to buying at auctions, guys, you're going to see these prices jump up quite a bit, because I'm going to pay quite a bit more for them. But I've got some really good sources for some good inventory now that, as long as it lasts, knock on wood, I'll be able to keep my prices like they are. But like I said, it's a crazy world we live in, and all we can do is, me and you and everybody else, can just adapt to it the best way we can, and the RVs and everything else. But thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments about this endeavor. I think it's a great deal. I think it's rides and drives great. It's really a nice motorhome, and for this price, in this price point, you know, it's hard to find diesel motorhomes with full body paint in good condition for under 50 grand, but here it is. I mean, I've got a couple of others out here in that price range, but I don't think any of them have full body paint. And of course, that handicap conversion, for those who need it, is worth a lot of money too. But this is still worth the same with or without that, to me anyway. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, if I was like Rip Off World, all these other places, this thing would be $69.9, because of that lift and that bathroom being converted. But I'm not going to do that, guys. Even though it costs you 20 grand to do all that, you know, if you took an existing motorhome, like I said, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I appreciate my 30,000 plus subscribers. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, what are you waiting on? Hit it. Hit that bell notification button. Comment, share on social media. At the very least, smash me a thumbs up. More interaction you give my channel, the more YouTube will share it in their algorithm with other interested RV shoppers or people who are curious about RVs, and more, it helps support my channel. It's free for you to watch. But like I said, if you can do that for me, guys, do me a kindness. I really appreciate it. But thank you again for watching. Make sure you like my Facebook page, RVs with Big Bo, and come out and visit with us, guys. We have a pretty decent selection of used diesels. I'd like to see about twice this many, but you know, they're just few and far between. But you know, you can see the prices we sell them for. We try to keep them affordable. Very few dealers have full body paint Class A diesels in good shape for under 50 grand. Very, very few dealers have one available for that price. Here it is right here, and it's a Holiday Rambler to boot. That's like the Lexus of the RV industry. And so it's not a cheap brand by no means, new or used. So this is a great deal for what it is. But anyway, guys, thank you again for watching. Financing is available with approved credit and down payment. If you're interested in that, give us a call, guys. We have no dealer interest rate markup, so we can save you thousands on RV financing alone, because you're not having to pay where dealers mark interest rates up. And how they do it, guys, is very simple. You're dealing with their lender. You're not dealing with yours. They're dealing directly with the bank. You're not. They're just telling you what they want you to hear. And what they're doing, the bank's getting them approved at a lower rate, and the dealer gets to mark that rate up pretty much as much as they want, and they keep about 3/4 of that. So, you know, if you've got a current RV and you went through an RV dealer's finance department, you might want to check into refinancing it with your bank or credit union and save you a lot of money. And I always tell people too, whether it's us or anybody else, always check with your bank or credit union to get terms and rates on what they can do on used RVs, so you have some kind of basis of comparison. Because anything, especially a big corporate dealer does, like Rip Off World, involves massive amounts of profit. And when profit's involved, that means that profit only comes from one place, and that means the consumer is overpaying. And that's why they charge you all those fees. They don't tell you about it till you get ready to sign on the dotted line. It could be thousands of dollars, dock fees, prep fees, happy camper fees, freight fees, processing fees, inspection fees, and more, that are all 100% dealer profit. No matter what they tell you, or what kind of spiel they tell you about why they charge those fees, it's BS, guys. It's all 100% dealer profit. I've worked for those dealers. I know how they work, guys. If they offer you upsells, always say no to them. Extended warranties, gap insurance, interior, exterior protection packages, all that stuff, guys. When you buy that stuff, you're paying 3 or 4 times dealer cost, or adding it to your loan, making your payment and your amount financed going up. And then with the interest rate marked up, it's double profit for the dealer. They're making money on the product and the financing. And most of that stuff is not worth the paper it's written on. Guys, when you go to an RV dealership, your #1 priority should not be payment. Payment falls in line with how much you finance. So you should already do your research, do your due diligence, be aware of what the current rates and terms are for whatever year model RV you're looking at, because information is power. Worry about the rate and the amount financed, keeping both of those as low as possible. And don't worry about if the dealer tries to get a payment out of you or what you're looking for. Don't tell them. Tell them, I care about how much money I'm financing, not the payment. When you tell a salesperson that, or a finance manager that, they know they're dealing with somebody that's not going to fall for that BS they try to do on you. Tell them that you're worried about the rate and the amount financed being as low as possible. So always pay as much money down as you can. Get your payment down, get your rate down there, and your payment will follow suit. So anyway, there's my 2 cents for the day. Let me tell you guys, that's if everybody would do that, dealers' profits margins would go down drastically. Because here's the thing, when you, all right, let's just say you tell them, hey, I want an RV $600 a month payment. All right, they're getting you approved for like $475 a month. But then they're marking the interest rate up, putting an extra $50 a month on your payment. And then they're going to say, all right, we're going to add extended warranty, gap insurance, this, and this, and your payment's $640 a month. They're going to tell you, hey, we got you close, we got you $640 a month, but to justify that extra payment, look at all these extra services you're getting. Most of those services ain't worth the flip, guys. And you forget all about how much money you're financing, and the problem is, let's just use this one for example. Let's say you go in to buy an RV that's advertised for 50 grand, and you tell them, hey, I want this X amount a month payment. All right, they get it for you, and they add all that stuff and raise your payment up just a little bit, but you justify it because you think you're getting a good deal with all those extra features. Heck, the problem is you call the bank the next day, that $50,000 loan you owe $75,000 on. And what do? You're stuck in it. You got to drive it for years and years and years, or pay it down to get your payoff down to where you can sell or trade your RV later on. And that's how they work, guys. I want you to come back here. I want you to be able to buy this thing today, enjoy it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, however long you want to keep it. I want you to come back here and have equity in it where you can trade it back in and buy something else from us. You know, I don't want you to come back here owing 20 grand more than it's worth, which is not going to happen, but if you go to Ripoff World, it will happen. Believe me, guys, when we do trade-in appraisals, we always ask them where they bought it from. When they say, well, I don't use their real name because of legal reasons, but when they say Ripoff World, we know we're fighting a losing battle 9 times out of 10, unless they paid cash for it. We're pretty much not going to make the deal when they say Ripoff World or a number of other of these corporate dealerships that operate the same way they do. Because we know they got ran through the ringer, especially if they were a first-time RV buyer when they bought it. So do what you want, guys. It's a free country. If you want to buy from those places, go ahead. It's your freedom. It's your RV. It's your money. But guys, don't get mad when you come here to trade something in and you owe more than you paid for it 3 or 4 years ago, what they advertised it for new back then, and you still owe more than that after paying on it for 3 or 4 years, because it happens to people every week here. Unfortunately, we're in close proximity to a rip-off world, so, and that's common. In fact, you go to a rip-off world, ask them, hey, I want to see all your customer trade-ins. Most of the time, well, we don't have any. Because when they stick somebody, that person can't trade again because they owe so much on it. And you come here, guys, I probably got 20 trade-ins here that people bought from us, been using for a few years and traded back in. Y'all hear me say them all the time. This was a trade-in. This was a trade-in bought here. This was a trade-in that was bought here. It's because, guys, we treat you right the first time so you can come back for the second and the third and the fourth. You know, being in business 53 years like we have, guys, repeat customers and referrals, which is people sending their friends and family to us to buy RVs, is the bread and butter of our business. You know, and before I close off, a couple of sayings, and I always say this, I try to in my videos, a couple of sayings my grandfather, who started this company back in 1968, taught me, was he likes making his dollar with 10 dimes instead of 4 quarters. Yeah, we don't make as much money per unit, but we sell more, so it works out. We have to work harder because we have to sell more units, but that's the way we're raised. And the second thing he used to say, and it makes perfect sense, actually more now than it did back then, but big dealers don't get big by giving people fair deals. Remember that. The bigger the dealer, the more you're going to pay. A lot of people think the opposite, but it's not. Big dealers don't get big by giving consumers fair deals or good deals. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for some more videos, and look forward to seeing you here in beautiful Ringgold, Georgia.